Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Odd Ones. I'm Bjorn, and you can see that I'm not here with my beautiful, gorgeous wife, Lara, because she is at work right now. She and I are on separate shifts right now. I am on night shift because I'm a maintenance guy. That's my full time job. And whenever you're a maintenance guy, sometimes you're on call. Sometimes you're working nights. Sometimes you just have a weird schedule. And that's just how it is. Sometimes you have to work later. That's just how it is. And as I was working night shifts, Lara and I were kind of talking and thinking, oh, this would be a very relatable subject. And she's going to be making a parallel video to this one, talking about her side of things whenever it comes to me working night shifts. And she's had to deal with this before because I worked at a funeral home. So it was different because I didn't work night shifts, but I was on call all the time. Like I was always gone. So she's dealt with this in multiple different facets. So how can you be the best spouse, and how can you continue to build the relationship while you're working night shifts, while you're not seeing each other as much? Like I go in at 6 because that's whenever I'm painting a whole entire law firm right now. And it's a lot, and I can't go in there while they're doing meetings and things like that. So I have to go in there at 6 whenever they're completely gone, whenever nobody's there, so I can get my job done and not impede anybody else's job. And, so that means I only have, if she gets off right at 5 and she comes straight home, she works about 3 minutes away from the house. So if she comes straight home, we will have an hour maybe of just spending time together, but it's not alone time because the kids are here. The kids are also hungry for attention and need attention and, want to tell us about their day and things like that. So we don't have any time. Yesterday I got out a little bit early because I ran out of paint, and obviously Sherwin-Williams isn't open at freaking 1 o'clock in the morning whenever I got done. But that being said, normally I'm not getting home till 4 o'clock in the morning right now. So what can we do as spouses, as parents, as individuals to help each other and be there for each other, even though we're not physically there for each other? And what it boils down to is two things. One, obviously, the easy thing is to, just to continue to communicate. Well, I say that's easy, but for some people, communication's not easy. But continue to communicate, call each other throughout the day. It's a little bit harder for me to call her because she works at a place where she needs to pay attention to what she's doing. But at night, she can call me, I can call her. All I'm doing is painting. Nobody else is around. It's just me. So we can talk and, I can be her, what does she call it? She has ADHD, so she has to have somebody there whenever she's working to keep her on track. Body doubling is what that's called. So is it the same as whenever I'm home? Obviously not. Obviously it's not face-to-face communication. We could do FaceTime, but that is a little bit harder for me whenever I'm, whenever I'm painting. I can't focus on what she's talking about or doing or anything like that. So just a simple phone call, put your AirPods in and talk. Now, obviously not every job is going to be like that. If you're over the night nurse, you can't talk to your spouse, but periodically, don't let this get you in trouble, but periodically text each other, send each other a picture, all these different things. This is kind of the simple things that you can do throughout the night to, show that your spouse is still thought of, show that your spouse is still cared for. Just say, I love you whenever they go to bed. These things mean a lot whenever you're not spending much time together. And, for some people like Lara, it's really hurtful whenever, or I guess more disappointing whenever you can't spend that time with each other. And we're lucky because it's only for a week. It's only for a week that we're not able to spend time together. And, we're also lucky because if she wanted to, or if she had time to, she could come up there. I've taken the girls with me every single night this week, up there, and they just hang out for an hour or two. And then whenever I get home, not whenever I get home, but I come home for a lunch break. So we do get to see each other for about 30 minutes, for lunch because I live so close. So again, I'm lucky in that case, but, so I take the girls and I kind of take that weight off of her, But yeah, so other than communicating, other than talking with one another and showing each other that you care for each other with words, what else can you do? Well, it kind of harkens back to previous conversations whenever I was talking about when your spouse is sick. How do you take care of them? It's very similar in this case. What are the things that you can do to make your spouse's life easier whenever they get home? And for me, you know, unfortunately, this week I've been sick. I don't know what the heck's going on. I've had this extreme pressure behind my eyes whenever I first wake up. Whenever I get to work, I'm okay. So something in my neighborhood or something is going on where it's got really bad pressure behind my eyes. But today, I don't feel sick. Today, I'm feeling good. So what am I going to do to make Lara's life easier whenever she gets home? Tonight's pizza night, so there is a pizza in the freezer. The kids can pop that in the oven. Lara has tonight's Thursday, so she has counseling. So the kids can pop that in the oven, get that going, and dinner's taken care of. Other than that, like tomorrow night, I'm gonna pull out something tonight to thaw out some kind of chicken or beef or something, whatever we have. That way, whenever Lara gets home, she doesn't have to worry about thawing something out. Or, she doesn't have to worry about that on her lunch break because she's already taking her lunch break to go get the kids. Somebody being on night shift, really, that puts a lot of pressure on the person who's working day shift, especially if you have kids. If you don't have kids, then it's kind of like you both are working in tandem with each other, but not around each other. But if you have kids, I mean, all the pressure's on the individual who is working days because they have to get the kids to school, pick them up from school, figure out dinner. They have to make sure all the chores are done. They have to make sure the extra things are done, entertaining the kids. They have to really focus on these different things. And like I said, just doing simple things like taking out the trash so they don't have to worry about it. Lara doesn't have to worry about it because that's Aaron's job. But making sure that's done is important. Making sure there's things for dinner. Putting away dishes, even if that's not, if you have your house separated where somebody does blue jobs and somebody does pink jobs, make sure all the blue jobs are done and then also do the pink jobs. So, doing dishes, doing laundry, making sure the animals are fed if you have animals. If you have the opportunity like I do to take your kids to work with you for a couple hours, take them to work with you for a couple hours. So she has a little bit of me time. If you don't have that and they're teenagers, express to your kids, hey, give them a group text or give them a call. Say, hey, your mom needs a minute. Give her an hour to decompress from work, and then you can ask her what's for dinner. They let me just put it this way. First of all, teenagers are narcissists, and they are going to care about what makes them feel good. So if dinner is what makes them feel good, they're going to come in there and pester you about dinner. So it's important to work as a team and get them to understand, hey, we're humans too. You came home and started watching YouTube, so we need a minute too. That's a whole nother subject. But just pretty much the moral of the story is to make things as easy as possible for the person who's working day shifts. And I understand it's hard, especially if it's the first day of doing night shifts. I think that first day or two, especially if you're doing like 2 weeks of doing night shift or that's your just permanent routine, if the first night, just everybody should understand, hey, dad, mom is going to be tired. She or he is going to be exhausted physically, all these different things, because your body has to acclimate to doing night shifts. So I think both parties should come to the understanding, hey, first day, unfortunately, all the pressure is going to be on the day shift person. That's unfortunately how it's going to be. But after that, it's a team effort. Just like everything else is a team effort. Learning how to communicate is a team effort. Parenting is a team effort. Taking care of the house is a team effort. Day shift, night shift team effort. It's just, you're not going to be physically there with one another. But yeah, so, just simplifying the partner's life, simplifying your wife's life or husband's life is what's going to make things go as smoothly as possible through this period of your existence. I can't give too much information on if somebody was permanently doing this. I mean, I would still say do the same things. If you're night shift and you don't have to be at work until 6 o'clock, don't procrastinate your day away. That's just not fair to the other person. Be active in helping around the house and helping with the parenting as much as possible, even if that means, like I said, group texting or calling the kids. And if they're acting up and the mom's stressed out, take some of that pressure off. Call the kids and say, hey, you need to act right, or I'm still gonna come home and be the parent that I need to be. I'll wake you up. I'll wake you up and ground you. It's just a lot. It's a lot on both people, a lot of pressure on both people. But again, I just don't have a lot of information on if, somebody was working a shutdown and it's a 12-hour shift. So you're working 12 hours every single day. That's got to be a lot of pressure on the person staying home on top of the person who's working that 12-hour shift and doesn't have any free time and, things like that. And I have worked a 12-hour shift, but not in the same realm. I've worked at Seminole Electric and work shutdowns and work 12 hours a day with a newborn child at home and all this different stuff. But I was young and I was able to come home and still play and do all this different stuff. I can imagine being 30 or 40, doing that and how much pressure that is, much less somebody that's in the military. And essentially the other parent is a stay at home, or not stay at home, but a single parent. Man, what, hats off to you guys who have to, deal with those kind of situations. But, I think that's pretty much, I'm not going to ramble on too much about all of this. I think that's pretty much, I just wanted to make this short, concise video about how you can still be productive in your household and how you can still help the other person as far as if you're working night shifts, and how to encourage them. Even that's another thing. You can encourage them. Hey, this isn't forever. I'm not working nights forever. And even if you are, hey, we have the weekend. You and I will still be able to spend time together on the weekend, or, isolate time to spend together. I guess that's what I'm really trying to get at, is try to still, even if it's an hour, spend that time together. Don't waste it frivolously scrolling on your phone. You can do that on your off time. Spend that time together. And I mean, that goes for anything. That goes for regular, both of you working 9-to-5 jobs. Spend that time together, because you never know when it's going to be gone. I do want to spend this last part just kind of giving a life update and going over not really anything important. It makes it sound like it's important, but so that's the end of that subject. But Lara and I procrastinated last week. We didn't get that Monday video out, and very much so because of exhaustion and both of us working a lot, but also because of Minecraft. Lara's birthday was on the 14th. Today is the 24th, I think. My clock's like in the middle of transitioning between whatever and whatever date. But so we went and watched it. What was it? Tuesday. Watched Minecraft movie, that is. But let me rewind. We celebrated her birthday, and Lara's never really had a children's birthday before. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to be playful, and I'm going to make her a Minecraft birthday. She's never expressed that she likes Minecraft. The kids like Minecraft. I have dabbled in it a time or two. I love it now, but that's my new hyperfixation. But she's never expressed liking it. But I was like, I'm going to troll her a little bit on her birthday. And I made her a big gluten-free Minecraft birthday cake. I got her a backpack with, or like a plush creeper backpack. What else? We made her, what did I make her for dinner? I can't remember. But just did a bunch of Minecraft stuff. Got her Minecraft figures to go on the cake or whatever. And the dog got the cake a little bit. We did have to cut some of the cake off because he is as tall as our bar, and the cake was sitting there. We went to McDonald's so the kids could get some I made her gluten-free freaking chicken nuggets and French fries. That's what I made her. But took the kids to McDonald's so they could get a Minecraft toy. And while we were gone, the dog licked probably a 3-inch chunk of the cake. So, she was lackluster, to say the least, about the birthday because it was Minecraft and she doesn't know much about Minecraft. She's only played creative and things like that. Well, we went to the movie and I did not think I was going to like this movie. First of all, me and Lara, neither of us thought we were going to really like the movie. I kind of got a little hyped about it, but the kids, whenever the movie first came out, I was like, or even beforehand, whenever I started seeing merch come out for it, I was like, oh, there's Minecraft, there's Minecraft movie. And the girls specifically loved Minecraft, but they're like, no, that looks like crap. How everything looks is just terrible. Jack Black as Steve is terrible. And then I was like, well, I want to take Lara to go see this movie for her birthday. And Juliet's like, well, can we go? I was like, well, I guess so, I guess so. So we took all the kids to the Minecraft movie. The girls got all dressed up in Minecraft. Lara, I got her, like I said, I got her the backpack and everything and a shirt. It's so funny. She can fit into a child's shirt. So I got her a Minecraft creeper shirt and a creeper blanket and took that and everything and took pictures in front of the poster and everything. And that was a lot of fun. And that movie, if you go in there without the expectation of there is going to be something deeper in this movie. I don't know why people go to kids' movies and are like booing it because it's such a surface level movie. I'm not saying don't have any story, but don't go into it thinking, oh, well, there's got to be some kind of underlying thing there, some kind of whatever. It's a children's movie. Children aren't thinking about that. They can have great stories, and that has been proven over and over again, but that's neither here nor there. You are going to a children's movie, right? But anyway, then after that, we became obsessed with Minecraft, and we went home and played it. We played it the next day. We went to the Springs and then came home and played it, and just got obsessed with it. Over all of Easter break, we just played Minecraft. Even we were supposed to go to the Springs on Easter, but they got so full that we couldn't go, so we just played Minecraft all day. Yeah, that is our procrastination story, why we haven't been posting on Facebook or anything else. We have just been potatoes on the couch, just playing Minecraft and having fun as a family. And sometimes that's what you have to do. Sometimes in life, you just have to spend time with your family doing stupid stuff. And yeah, is it a waste of time? Yeah, do I feel guilty about it sometimes afterward? Sure. But at the same time, hearing my kids laugh and me and Lara laughing and having really, it actually inspired me to want to restart my gaming channel and just play Minecraft with Lara, because I'll end on this very sweet note. Whenever we first dropped into the world, Lara was busy doing something, and the girls and I started a world together. They wound up starting their own world later on. They don't like, I don't do cheats at all. I only do survival. And they don't like that. They like to be able to switch immediately from day to night and all this other stuff and teleport to one another. I'm old school. I want to do old school. And also, since this is Lara's first time, I wanted her to play on true survival. See what it felt like to risk it all whenever she goes down into the mines and could lose everything. But so we get into the world. Lara's like, go ahead and get started without me. We'll meet up or whatever. So the girls and I kind of go off, and then I get separated from them somehow. And Lara joins in, and I get onto an island. I see a little tiny island out in the water, and I'm like, I'm gonna go explore that. And then I go into another island, and I start inhabiting that, farming, all this other stuff. And Lara drops in, and she immediately is lost and can't find her way. We found a village right at the beginning, and she can't find her way, anything like that. And by the way, I know this sounds like I'm just nerding out about Minecraft. The relationship part will be there, okay? And we're kind of talking to one another. She's like making her house and all this different stuff, and kind of like burrowing underground, trying to learn the ropes. And she needed this alone time to kind of figure out the game. Otherwise, I would have showed her everything and kind of sucked the fun out of it for her, as far as that part goes, and exploring. So she's like, well, I wanted to play with you. I wanted to be in the same area as you and, create a house together and all this other stuff, but we can't find each other. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to try to make a big pillar. Maybe you can see that. No, can't see that. Go to an island, go to the second island or the first island I went to, made a big pillar on that. Can't find me. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to find you. And I thought she was at the same village as we were. Lo and behold, she was, but things got crossed up where we couldn't find each other. And I was like, all right, meet me back at spawn. And she's like, what do you mean? I said, I'm going to destroy my bed, which if you don't know Minecraft, if you destroy your bed, you destroy your spawn point. So, and you go back to the very first spawn point. And I said, I'm going to destroy my bed and just meet me at spawn. And she's like, but you won't be able to find your way. And I was like, in my head, I was like, yeah, no, I won't. I probably won't be able to find this place again because it's like got to be 1,000,000 miles away. And I said, no, it'll be all right. And so I break the bed. I jump off into the water, drowned, and I go back to spawn point. And there she is. Or no, she's at the village. She's at the original village. And she legitimately cries. Whenever she first sees me, she's like, you sacrificed everything. It was so much time and effort. You sacrificed everything just to find me. And, it's been so long. Literally, it's been like a day, a whole entire real life day that we haven't seen each other in this virtual world. We're sitting right next to each other on the couch, but she starts crying and she's like, I'm so happy to see you. This is so emotional and everything. And it's so cute. And I was like, all right, well, now we have to find our house. And so don't know how I found it, but I found the pillar that I made. Then we make it to the island, and she starts kind of getting emotional again because now we have our house together. It's like, I don't know, it's really cute, kind of concept there. The disappointing thing is, after we start exploring the island and really inhabiting it and creating farms and bigger house and everything like that, we come to find out, and I'm like, okay, well, we need to get villagers. That is part of the game. Got to get villagers. So I'm like, okay, how do we get back to that place? And I'm like taking this whole long route. Come to find out, once you get to the tip of our island, you can look straight across and there's that village. So this whole time, we were like 30 seconds away from this village. So, sometimes you just got to get lost to find your way back and to find love and to rekindle that fire. Sometimes you just got to do it in Minecraft. But anyway, a lot of rambling done. I'm going to send this over to Lara so she can kind of give her point of view on all of this. And I didn't say this at the beginning, but don't forget to like, subscribe, and all that other good stuff because it helps out. We've got to 229 subscribers, so if we can hit that 130, yes. 129 is where we're at. If we can get to 130, that'd be great. That would get me out of the 20s. I've been in the 20s for like a year now. I'm ready to get out of that. I'm ready to get into 130s. So if we could do that, that'd be awesome. But until next time, stay a little odd because we are.